Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Battle Through the Heavens Part 195 based on novel. So let's start. After the matter of the Bodhisattva ancient tree was over, Xiao Yan's group did not continue to stay in this damn wasteland for long. They set off and spent a couple of days traveling before reaching the Falling Star Pavilion. Xiao Yan was undoubtedly the one who had obtained the most during this trip to the ancient wasteland region. Not only did he enjoy the legendary meditation beneath the Bodhisattva ancient tree, the Bodhisattva heart had also hid itself within his body. Of course, one should not forget the 11 pure Bodhisattva seeds remaining in his hands. Forget about the benefits the two other things gave Xiao Yan. Just the 11 Bodhisattva seeds alone was already an extremely rich reward. If one were to randomly take out any one of these Bodhisattva seeds, many Peak Dozan experts' eyes would turn red with envy. They did not care about its other properties. Its ability to raise one's chances of advancing to the Banshin class was enough to cause those top experts in the eyes of ordinary people to go crazy. Xiao Yan might have gained a rich reward this time around, but the thing that he was most happy about was that he managed to prevent Han Yu's group from gaining anything. Xiao Yan involuntarily felt the impulse to laugh each time he thought about how Han Yu's group had spent a great effort to hurry to the ancient wasteland region only to return with nothing. Falling Star Pavilion. Xiao Yan's group rested for a full week after returning from the ancient wasteland region before they finally recovered. This trip to the ancient region had not been relaxing. If the Bodhisattva seed in Xiao Yan's storage ring had not luckily woken him from the illusion, all of them would have descended into that extremely lifelike illusion forever. In the end, they would have turned into existences similar to those Banshin puppets. Even though Xiao Yan had managed to survive, he still felt a chill in his heart when he thought of the lifelike illusion. That illusion was really too frightening. Xiao Yan did not refine the Bodhisattva heart immediately after returning to the Falling Star Pavilion because he understood that it was too important. He needed to refine it perfectly. Absolutely nothing could go wrong. While adopting this attitude, Xiao Yan spent a lot of effort to reach his peak condition during a 1-month period of time. At the same time, both he and Yao Lao tried their best to prepare things that would increase his chances of advancing to the Banshin class, regardless of whether they were medicinal pills or natural treasures. Everyone understood that the strength of the Falling Star Pavilion would undoubtedly soar if Xiao Yan successfully advanced to the Banshin class. 2 Banshens was a lineup that even the Profound Sky sect and the other extremely old sects were unable to take out. While Xiao Yan was awaiting for his peak condition to arrive, Yao Lao had left for half a month. After half a month, his tired elderly self once again appeared in front of Xiao Yan and handed him a box. Xiao Yan received the box while feeling surprised. After he carefully opened the jade box, he discovered an emerald green little squirrel hiding within it. An extremely rich pill fragrance spread from the squirrel's body. Just a whiff would cause someone to relax. This is the Bodhisattva pill? Xiao Yan stared at the little squirrel for a moment. Only then did he lift his head and ask in a somewhat stunned voice. He could sense a familiar aura within this little squirrel's body. That's right. Yao Lao smiled and nodded. The smile on his face hid his tiredness as he spoke in a somewhat regretful manner. Unfortunately, this Bodhisattva pill only summoned an 8-colored pill lightning. Otherwise, its medicinal effects would have been even more impressive. However, you possess the Bodhisattva heart in your body. Adding the help of this Bodhisattva pill should allow you to successfully break through to the Banshin class. Xiao Yan felt something blocking his heart as he observed Yao Lao's elderly face. The reason Yao Lao had disappeared for half a month was because he had gone out to find a place to refine this Bodhisattva seed for Xiao Yan. Xiao Yao's chances of successfully refining a medicinal pill of this tier were a little low. Xiao Yan understood that Yao Lao's abilities were enough to attract a 9-colored pill lightning for this Bodhisattva pill, but Yao Lao lacked a good flame. If Yao Lao still possessed the bone-chilling flame, attracting a 9-colored pill lightning would be extremely easy. Yao Lao had quietly contributed a lot to this disciple of his. Teacher, thank you. Xiao Yan hugged the jade box. He inhaled a deep breath of air and softly uttered his thanks. Ha ha, There is no need to say these things between a teacher and disciple. Yao Lao shook his head and said, "You should relax and undertake a retreat. Leave the matters of the Falling Star Pavilion and the Yang Alliance to me. I will not allow anything to happen to them. The most important thing for you is to quickly advance to the Banshan class. Otherwise, you will not possess the ability to subdue the purifying demon lotus flame when it appears in 3 years. That heavenly flame is too frightening." Xiao Yan quietly nodded. This was an obstacle that could completely transform him. If he managed to overcome it, he would truly reach the level of the peak experts within the continent. If he failed, he would be left among upper-tier experts. He wouldn't be able to retaliate against the greatness of the Han clan with such strength. Moreover, Xiao Yan had chased after the purifying demon lotus flame for over a decade. It was impossible for him to give it up. The purifying demon lotus flame would play a critical role in deciding whether he could fight against the Han clan, so he needed to obtain the purifying demon lotus flame at all costs. "You should relax and undertake your retreat. Leave the matter of raising Kailin's, the little fairy doctors, and Qinglin's strength to me. All of them are extraordinary ladies. As long as they possess a suitable opportunity, their strength will definitely rise very quickly. They will not hold you back once you exit your retreat." Yao Lao patted Xiao Yang's shoulder. After which, he turned around. Kailin, the little fairy doctor, and Qinglin were all present, but they did not interrupt the conversation between a teacher and his disciple. "I?" Xiao Yang gently nodded. He hesitated for a moment before he pulled a jade bottle out of his storage ring. There was a layer of fire around the mouth of the bottle. One could vaguely sense a weak soul within the bottle. "Teacher, this is Han Feng's soul. You will have to deal with it." Xiao Yang handed the jade bottle to Yao Lao as he softly informed his teacher. Yao Lao's face was slightly startled after hearing this. His eyes were complicated as he looked at the jade bottle. There was some sorrow in them. No matter what had happened, he had once viewed Han Feng like his own son. He had personally raised Han Feng from an abandoned orphan to an adult and had taught him all he knew. However, Han Feng's plot against him had caused him, who had once been abandoned by his clan, to suffer. The pain from being betrayed was many times more worse than losing his body. Yao Lao's shriveled hand trembled as he received the jade bottle. He did not say anything as he slowly nodded. Xiao Yang felt some grief while he observed the old face of the man in front of him as it appeared more desolate and older. He swung his sleeve and his knees knelt onto the ground. He kowtowed twice before speaking in a deep voice, "Teacher has taught and groomed me. You are my teacher and like a father to me. This disciple will help teacher take revenge for all the humiliation and pain you have suffered." Yao Lao was startled when he saw Xiao Yang suddenly kowtow. He hurriedly stepped forward and tried to lift him to his feet. Before he could support Xiao Yang up, Kailin hugged Xiao Xiao as she quietly knelt beside Xiao Yang. She was Xiao Yang's wife and Xiao Yang viewed Yao Lao like his father, so she naturally viewed him the same. Regardless of how cold and stubborn her character was, she understood that she should listen to her man sometimes. "Ah, you little fellow, colon." Yao Lao helplessly shook his head as his eyes became a little moist. The desolate expression on his face had paled. At this moment, he understood that the heavens had not abandoned him. He might have been blind once, but he was not blind a second time. He could even abandon his old life for this disciple. "Grand teacher?" Xiao Xiao widened her black gem-like eyes and looked at Yao Lao. Her crisp voice caused a smile to surface on the faces of everyone present. "Ah, good Xiao Xiao." Yao Lao's face was involuntarily filled with joy when he heard her words. He hurriedly lifted Xiao Xiao into a hug from Cai Lin's embrace. After which, he looked at Xiao Yang and Kailin. He laughed, "Quickly get up. These old bones of mine are merely having some random thoughts. The both of you are already quite old. Don't tell me that you are afraid that I might end up committing suicide." Xiao Yang smiled upon hearing these words. He stood up and helped Kailin to her feet. Holding the jade box in his hand, he turned his head to look at a large stone room hidden within the mountain. He said, "It is already time. I should enter." There is no telling just how long I will be in this retreat, but I think that it will be quite long. All of you should listen to teacher's instructions during this period of time. Understood. Kaylin, the little fairy doctor, and the rest nodded slightly upon hearing Xiao Yan's suggestion. Teacher, take care. Xiao Yan inhaled a deep breath of air. He faced Yao Lao and cupped his hands together in a solemn manner. After which, he did not delay any longer. He turned around with the jade box and slowly stepped through the thick stone door in front of everyone's eyes. Bang! After Xiao Yan walked in, that enormous stone door also slowly shut. Finally, it smashed against the ground, lifting some dust in the process. Everyone became quiet as they looked at the enormous stone door. They had a premonition that Xiao Yan's retreat would last for a long time. Let's go. Next, we will wait for him to successfully become a Ban Sheng. Yao Lao softly sighed. After which, he waved his hand, hugged Xiao Xiao, and slowly left. Kaylin and the others quickly followed behind him. However, none of them had expected that this retreat would take a full 2 years. 2 years was not a short amount of time, but no one had expected Xiao Yan's retreat to last this long. Based on the expectations of Yao Lao and the others, it should not be difficult for Xiao Yan to break through to the Ban Sheng class since he had the Bodhisattva heart and Bodhisattva pill helping him. The legend about refining the Bodhisattva heart to immediately enter the Sheng class was a little exaggerated. After all, one must be given time to absorb an enormous amount of pure energy. One could also prove just how powerful the Bodhisattva heart was from another point of view. Although it did not allow one to enter the Sheng class immediately, Xiao Yang, who was already a 9-change peak Dozun, would, at the very most, need 1 year to successfully complete his retreat. However, reality did not match everyone's expectations. Time slowly flowed by while everyone waited. Autumn replaced summer as wild grass covered the area in front of the large rock door where Xiao Yang hid. Green moss had started to cover the stone door. The area around this door had become a forbidden ground for the Falling Star Pavilion during this 1 year. With the exception of a few, even some of the guest elders were prohibited from entering. Everyone could only suppress the anxiety in their hearts after 1 year passed. It was pointless to be anxious when it came advancing. Fortunately, the most reassuring thing was that Yao Lao could sense an extremely obscure aura through the mountain. This aura was extremely faint, but it was not weak. Instead, it was as though that aura was in a transformation state. Being able to sense Xiao Yang's lingering aura had undoubtedly reduced the worry of everyone. They were unable to disturb Xiao Yang at this moment. Hence, all of them could only helpless worry as they quietly waited. While Xiao Yang was in his retreat, the Central Plains experienced a great disturbance, but the revenge of the Hall of Souls had not arrived early. Hence, the Falling Star Pavilion made full use of their remaining time to become stronger under the management of Yao Lao and Feng Zunja. Many experts had joined upon hearing their names, especially after news spread from the Falling Star Pavilion that Yao Lao could refine the Bodhisattva pill. Some of the elite peak Dozuns, who usually kept an extremely low profile, could not resist the temptation as they secretly became Falling Star Pavilion guest elders. The temptation of the Bodhisattva seed was really too great. Experts would even sacrifice some time and freedom for it. Of course, it was naturally impossible to give the Bodhisattva seed to these guest elders, who had come seeking it the moment they joined. These experts were not foolish either. They also understood that there were no free lunches in this world. Hence, they thought of ways to contribute to the Falling Star Pavilion so that there would come a time when they were trusted by Yao Lao and then could be blessed with a Bodhisattva pill, which they could use to break through to the level they had only dreamed of. In the face of this positive influence, the strength of the Falling Star Pavilion undoubtedly soared. It had become a powerful existence in the Central Plains that was not inferior to an old faction like the Profound Sky sect. However, as the Falling Star Pavilion's strength and reputation grew, the Profound Sky sect, which had formed a grudge with Xiao Yang and the Falling Star Pavilion, was unable to remain still. In the past, the territory of the Falling Star Pavilion had not been very large. Therefore, there was little conflict between the two, but the Falling Star Pavilion's territory gradually began to intersect with the Profound Sky sect. It was inevitable that conflict would erupt. One was an old faction while the other was a rising faction. The clash between the two would indeed be intense. Both parties had experienced their own respective victories and defeats after fighting for a period of time. Neither party was able to do anything about the other, but this situation did not last for long before it underwent a change. The Profound Sky sect had announced that it would form an alliance with the Ice River Valley, the Wind Lightning Pavilion, and some other renowned sects in the Central Plains. They publicly announced that the alliance would be named Profound River Alliance. This alliance had undoubtedly allowed the strength of the Profound Sky sect to soar. This gathering of experts from multiple parties had caught the Falling Star Pavilion off guard, but Yao Lao and the rest did not panic. The Falling Star Pavilion had expanded too quickly. Although the territory under its influence was vast, it was a little superficial. By experiencing this big battle, they were able to use it as an opportunity to reorganize themselves. An obese faction was not something that Yao Lao desired. Instead, he wanted a balanced elite group that could deliver a fatal blow to any enemy. Hence, Yao Lao and the rest did not organize a major retaliation as the Falling Star Pavilion shrank. They continued to withdraw. As the Falling Star Pavilion withdrew and the length of their defensive line shrank, the defensive strength of those cities near the center increased. Additionally, many guest elders personally built wormholes to be directly connected all of these important cities together. Therefore, any city could be reinforced quickly. This caused the territory of the Falling Star Pavilion to be impenetrable. Some of the attacks of the Profound River Alliance had difficulty achieving any obvious results. Instead, they had ended up suffering quite great losses after many battles. This stalemate continued for a couple of months before the Profound River Alliance had no choice but to give up attacking. They gradually withdrew. In any case, they had achieved the effect of displaying their might. They did not wish to truly become enemies with the Falling Star Pavilion and engage in a bloody battle. After all, everyone knew that it would be difficult to predict the victor. After this big war came to a temporary halt, the reputation of the Falling Star Pavilion once again exploded. It was able to rely on its own strength to fight the alliance consisting of the Profound Sky sect, Ice River Valley, and some other factions. This was extremely rare in the Central Plains. The Profound River Alliance was quite depressed by this. Although they had managed to snatch some territories, it seemed that they had ended up promoting the Falling Star Pavilion. After a temporary peace was formed, the Central Plains became calm for a period of time. However, this peace did not last for long before a great storm was stirred from some information that had been transmitted from an unknown source. The main character of this news was one of the 8 ancient clans, the Ling clan. Back when Xiao Yan had come out of the heavenly tomb, he had learned that the Ling clan's realm had suddenly been shut. However, the news back then was only privy to some large factions, and none of them knew what had happened. Hence, the news did not spread. Not long ago, some experts discovered that the realm of the Ling clan had opened once again. When these experts entered it and probed around, they discovered that the Ling realm was completely empty. There was not a single person in it. Even the descendant citizens of the Ling clan had completely vanished. Those experts were stunned as they looked through the realm, which was void of life. A chill immediately surged from their feet to their heads. This matter was too mysterious. If one added the descendant citizens of the Ling clan, there had been millions of people in the Ling realm, yet this many people had vanished into thin air. This matter undoubtedly stirred a great commotion when it reached the ears of the other few ancient clans. Each of those clans dispatched some strong individuals to the Ling realm. Regardless of how they searched, they were unable to even find a single member of the Ling clan. It was as though the Ling clan had completely vanished when their realm was sealed. The Ling clan was also one of the 8 ancient clans. Although they had gradually shown signs of declining, it should be known that even a dying ancient faction was still more powerful than an ordinary one. Regardless of how much it declined, it could still be ranked among the super factions within the Central Plains. Even if their clan was massacred, even factions like the GU clan would find it difficult to kill all the members of the clan without notifying anyone. Of course, other than the possibility that the Ling clan was exterminated, some individuals guessed that it was very possible that the Ling clan could have moved their entire clan into another self-created realm, but it was obvious that this massive shifting could not be hidden from the peak experts in the Central Plains, yet even these people had not sensed a thing. Given the strength of the Ling clan, how could they possibly have shifted millions of descendant citizens? Regardless of what happened, the matter of the Ling clan's disappearance had undoubtedly stirred a great storm throughout the Central Plains. Various factions guessed the reason for this disappearance. While the outside world was randomly guessing what had happened, a great disagreement had also occurred within the ancient clans over this matter. These ancient clans understood each other very well, but they were not allies. They could only be described as part enemy and part friend. After all, these ancient clans had attacked each other when they were powerful. Hence, they could not be considered united. While the outsiders were feeling at a loss because of this matter, all of these clans had made their own guesses. A very long time ago, a big war had once erupted between the 8 ancient clans. The reason for that war was the Chushi ancient god Jade. That object that had been left behind by the last elite Dodi and was rumored to possess the secret to reach the Dodi class. The 8 ancient clans had once fought because of this secret. Finally, the complete Chushi ancient god Jade was split into 8 pieces. In other words, whoever wished to obtain what was left behind by the Chushi ancient god would have to gather 8 pieces of jade. Each of the clans regarded the ancient jade as more important than their lives. They would definitely not give it away without reason. Hence, there were those who had guessed that the disappearance of the Ling clan this time around might be related to the other ancient clans. Their aim was to obtain the Chushi ancient god jade in the hands of the Ling clan. However, another round of doubt appeared after this guess was voiced. Although the Ling clan had declined, its foundation hadn't disappeared. Among the 6 remaining ancient clans, it was likely that only 2 clans had the ability to exterminate the entire Ling clan without anyone knowing. They were the Gu clan and the Hun clan. On the surface, the Gu clan was the strongest clan among the 6 remaining ancient clans. No one doubted the strength they possessed. If one were to describe the Hun clan, this clan could be considered the clan with the longest history among the 8 ancient clans. This clan had existed since ancient times. It was usually extremely mysterious, and even the other ancient clans did not dare to say that they clearly understood its strength. Although the Hun clan did not reveal that they were the strongest during the big wars of the old, anyone who carefully recalled the events would discover that the Hun clan had never fallen into a disadvantage. They were neither victorious nor defeated. From a certain point of view, that was quite frightening to accomplish. Hence, even the Gu clan maintained a healthy amount of fear for this mysterious ancient clan. These 2 ancient clans represented the strongest factions within the Dochi continent. Other than these 2 clans, not a single faction could eliminate the entire Ling clan without anyone noticing. Hence, the Gu clan and the Hun clan were undoubtedly the most suspicious factions related to the disappearance of the Ling clan. Although the other 4 ancient clans did not possess absolute evidence to determine the culprit, it was obvious that they became more cautious toward the Hun clan and the Gu clan after this incident regarding the Ling clan. If the other party was really after the Chushi ancient jade, they would definitely not stop. Since they were in possession of the remaining 4 ancient jade, one of them was likely to be the next target. The Gu clan appeared quite depressed as they dealt with this doubt that had appeared from nowhere, but they also understood the seriousness of this matter. Any actions they made would likely stir some unnecessary suspicion. Hence, they could only remain quiet. At the same time, the Hun clan did as they always did. They ignored everything and did whatever they wanted to do. In any case, the Hun clan did not require any allies. They did not care about what the others thought. Therefore, the matter regarding the Ling clan was gradually suppressed as both parties continued to remain quiet. The 6 ancient clans did not start a major war. Following the flow of time, this matter seemed to have been forgotten by others, but some people were aware that a split had formed among the 6 ancient clans. All of the clans were cautious. The matter of the Ling clan stirred quite a big commotion in the Central Plains, but the ancient clans usually kept a low profile. Hence, this commotion lasted for half a year before it gradually diminished. There were interesting occurrences happening daily within the Central Plains, so there was an uncountable number of topics to talk about. Even a big matter like the disappearance of the Ling clan could not continue being the dominant topic. Following the various interesting incidents that occurred across the Central Plains, one season changed to another. It had been nearly 2 years since Xiao Yan had undertaken his retreat. During these 2 years, there were still no signs of activity from the deep mountain where Xiao Yan had took his retreat. Wild grass grew, covering the large stone door. During these 2 years, the young disciples that the Falling Star Pavilion had recruited gradually became senior disciples. A new generation once again entered the Falling Star Pavilion to provide new blood for this faction. After Xiao Yan's quiet retreat lasted for 2 years, even some of the guest elders began to feel a little pessimistic. The deep part of the mountain was too quiet. Normally speaking, breaking through to the Bansheng class should be an earth-shaking event. It would definitely attract an unnatural phenomenon, but the sky did not even hint at the slightest strange occurrence ever since Xiao Yan had undertaken his retreat. Given Yao Lao's sharp eyes, he was naturally able to sense some of the thoughts that these elders felt in their hearts. However, he did not say anything. He had always adopted the greatest trust when it came to Xiao Yan. Back when he had been captured by the Hall of Soul, Xiao Yan had relied on his own strength to make it to the Central Plains and rescue him from the hands of the Hall of Souls. All that Xiao Yan could rely on to achieve this was his own strength. Ever since that day, Yao Lao understood that this tender eagle, which had been hiding under the protection of his wings, had already soared through the sky. This continent, which was interesting and strange, was ultimately a stage for him. This was something that Yao Lao believed without a doubt. Yao Lao studied the enormous stone door that was covered in moss a short distance away. It was a long while later before he softly sighed softly, little fellow. This retreat of yours really worries others. Yao Lao. A ray of light suddenly rushed over from the distance while Yao Lao was softly sighing. A delicate, beautiful figure appeared behind Yao Lao. That figure surprisingly belonged to Kaylin. She had spent most of her time during these 2 years in the Falling Star Pavilion. Yao Lao had tried his best to refine various medicinal pills and had activated the Falling Star Pavilion to search for various natural treasures, all for Kaylin. Hence, Kaylin's strength had risen from a 5-star Dozun to the peak of the Dozun class. This kind of improvement could be considered quick. Being a 7-colored heaven-swallowing python, the strength of Kaylin's body was stronger than Xiao Yang's body. As long as she possessed sufficient energy, the increase in her strength would not slow. The 7-colored heaven-swallowing python had been an extremely powerful existence since ancient times. She had undoubtedly held a great advantage in terms of talent compared to Xiao Yan's bitter training. What's wrong? Yao Lao turned his head after seeing Kaylin appeared. He saw her somewhat grave face and asked in surprise. Kaylin's pretty eyes swept over the stone door in the distance. Her eyes dimmed as she took out a blood-red card and said, "This was delivered by the Profound River Alliance." "What is it?" Yao Lao frowned. He received the card and opened it. 3 large dark red words were immediately captured by his eyes. Declaration of war? A cold smile also surfaced on Yao Lao's face when he saw these words. His eyes were lowered. "Half a month from now, my Profound River Alliance will arrive at the Falling Star Pavilion. We will fight and see who is stronger. The winner takes all. They are actually taking the initiative to head to my Falling Star Pavilion? How arrogant. It seems that the old demon Qian Ming can no longer resist intervening." Yao Lao narrowed his eyes and coldly laughed. The Profound River Alliance has been quiet for over a year. This time around, they have suddenly issued a battle challenge and are planning to head to our Falling Star Pavilion. It seems that they must feel confident to do this. We must be cautious. Kaylin voiced her opinions. Yao Lao slightly nodded. Ever since the Falling Star Pavilion's war with the Profound River Alliance a year ago, the Profound River Alliance had not launched any other campaigns against the Falling Star Pavilion. Yao Lao understood in his heart that it was not because these people were unwilling, rather they did not want to push the Falling Star Pavilion too far. After all, Yao Lao's Bansheng strength was on display for all to see. If they wished to defeat the Falling Star Pavilion, they needed to first defeat Yao Chen. However, if they wanted to kill a Bansheng, especially a high-level one, the Profound River Alliance needed to take out two powerful Bansheng in order to succeed. Even with the strength of the Profound Sky sect, they were unable to take out two Banshengs. There was only a Grand Elder within their sect who had reached the Bansheng class, but this Bansheng old demon had not appeared for many years. Other than this person, the Profound River Alliance did not possess any other Bansheng. Although there were many sects in the Alliance, these sects were far inferior to the Profound Sky sect. It was naturally impossible for them to possess any experts at the Bansheng level. It was obvious that the Ice River Valley was unable to produce one. A single Profound Sky sect Grand Elder was clearly only able to match Yao Lao, but it would not be possible to kill Yao Lao. It was precisely because of this lack of strength that the Profound River Alliance had only started some minor conflicts and had only gained a small advantage during this 1 year. Despite wanting to destroy the Falling Star Pavilion, they were unable to intervene in those areas with a greater amount of profit. This time around, they dared to issue a battle challenge, and they had even used the headquarters of the Falling Star Pavilion as the site of the challenge. No one would believe that this challenge was not problem. Issue the orders to summon all the elders who are not busy with important tasks. Additionally, order those elders guarding the key cities to be very cautious during this period of time and to guard against any sneak attacks by the Profound River Alliance. Yao Lao's shriveled hand gently rubbed the invitation in his hand. He continued in a deep voice, additionally, dispatch some spies to gather information inside the Profound River Alliance. We must know why these people suddenly possess the courage to come forth. Understood. Kaylin slightly nodded. She had already issued all of these orders when she had received the challenge card. After her performance over these 2 years, the current CAI Lin was held in high regard within the Falling Star Pavilion. Everyone were aware of her status. Moreover, Xiao Yan had been determined by Yao Lao to be the next pavilion chief. In other words, Kaylin was half a pavilion chief's wife. Even some elders had to obey her orders. After these 2 years of war, everyone also understood that she was not merely a flower vase on display. Her ruthless decisiveness was something that even some men could not compare with. During this period of time, the caution level in the Falling Star Pavilion will be raised to its highest. Yao Lao coldly laughed. I wish to see just what trick that old demon Qian Ming intends to play. Kaylin nodded once again. Her pretty eyes could not resist looking at the tightly shut rock door. She softly asked, is there still no activity from him? Yao Lao was slightly startled. He nodded gently and looked at Kaylin's somewhat dim eyes. He laughed, there is no need to worry. Nothing will happen to him. According to my guesses, he will successfully exit his retreat very soon. Kaylin bitterly laughed. She had heard these words quite a lot over these 2 years. Let's go. There are still many things that we need to do to prepare. The Profound River Alliance has come with ill intent. Yao Lao waved his hand. After which, he turned around and slowly left. Kaylin's pretty eyes looked at the stone door. A moment later, she finally sighed, turned around, and followed Yao Lao. However, no one sensed the moss on the large rock door tremble soon after those two left. A tiny line suddenly surfaced on the stone door. This video will end here.